Excuse me. Ladies and gentlemen, I've just been informed that the commission has received additional results and they're collating them, and they need an extra 30 minutes to get ready. And may I also ask those without cameras to make sure that they move themselves to the back. If you don't have a camera, make yourself not visible from here. Thank you.
Why not? Talk to him.
So what time are we meeting today? Tomorrow?
Okay.
Heard an announcement coming through that this live broadcast is going to resume back in the next 30 minutes. We've just been told that ZEC is awaiting the announcement of the results. They've just been collecting more results. So this means that we are not officially going to be seeing you up until the next 30 minutes. She has requested 30 more minutes to collect the new result that have managed to come through. So this is what we're just going to be doing. In the meantime, before we just wait for her to officially give us the results, we're just going to be going through some other politicians who are here so that we do have one or two few little interviews to just get a feel of their opinions of what's going on right here. So yes, this is what's going to be going on in the next few minutes. We are going to be having the NDC Alliance. Mr. Douglas is going to be coming through as well. And thank you so much once again to join us live. And today we are at the Zimbabwe ZEC, Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, where we've been witnessing, where we're about to witness the official announcement of the upcoming results. And with us, we are joined with the MDC Alliance Secretary General, Mr. Douglas Munzula. Thank you so much, sir, for you taking your time to join us right here.
My pleasure.
Good, great. So, your expectations as far as results are coming through?
Well, we are expecting to win the presidential election. There is no question about it. If everything is free and fair, we should win the presidential election. The preliminary results that we have been able to see so far point out that our presidential candidate, Advocate Chamisa, is winning this election. So we are just waiting for the final results, but we are hoping that we will have a very good parliamentary representation as well as the presidency.
Mm-hmm. Right. Do you now have faith as far as this whole process is concerned? I know this has been a sticking point that the MDC did not have enough faith as far as these elections are concerned.
No, because there is 6 issues that remained outstanding, still remain. Mm-hmm. For an example, we were given a voters roll which was different from the voters roll that was used in the actual election. So we were given a different document when the law allows us to be given the correct document. We have complained quite a lot about abuse of the state media by the ruling party. There is no fair coverage by the state media of all the contesting parties, especially the MDC alliance. So we have quite a lot of outstanding issues. The abuse of food aid as a political weapon during elections by ZANU-PF. We have written this to the Zimbabwe Election Commission.
Mm-hmm. So if the MDC, for whatever reason, is announced to have been the outright winner, are you still going to accept these results?
Well, you can win an unfree and an unfair contest. Mm-hmm. So the fact that we may win it does not mean it is free and fair. We will still castigate it as not so free and fair. Mm-hmm. But in that regard, we would have fought against the odds. Mm-hmm. So we will still state that it is not free and fair.
Mm-hmm. A few minutes back, Secretary General, Honorable Tendai Biti held a press conference where he alleged that his life was under threat, and there were people who were actually sent by E.D. Mnangagwa to assassinate him. What's your response to this allegation?
Well, I do not have enough knowledge about what is going on, mm-hmm. But obviously Mr. Tendai Biti is a lawyer of note. He's a responsible man, and that means therefore that he does have evidence about things like that, because those are serious allegations to state. But should they be true, it is completely unacceptable. It is despicable. We must never shed each other's blood when we do elections. This should be time for fun. This is time for fair competition and not time to bloodlet. Mm-hmm. So if it is true, then it is completely unacceptable.
Mm. Suppose the upcoming results that are going to be announced in the next few minutes are not favorable to the MDC. What is your next call of action?
Well, it depends. We do have quite a number of options. The first option, of course, depending on what the results look like. Mm-hmm. The first option is to proceed in terms of Section 93 of the Constitution, take the matter to the Electoral Court, or to use our rights, to exercise our rights in terms of Section 59 of the Constitution, which allows us to demonstrate peacefully, to take to the streets, to go diplomatic, and so on. So it will depend on the circumstances that exist at that point in time. Mm-hmm. So we are not so short of options. We have quite a lot of options. But whatever we are going to do, we are going to act within the law. We are not going to break the law at all. Mm-hmm. And we are not going to be so irresponsible as to cause war.
Mm. This is not the first time the MDC has contested the outcome of an election. Should this election come out not favorable to you, do you think that doing demonstrations in the streets is going to change anything as far as the whole election process is concerned?
Well, yes, demonstrations depend on how they are executed. They can yield results. But what is important is that this is a demonstration in terms of the law. Mm-hmm. We are not breaking any law. We are doing it in terms of what the law allows us to do. So it is one option. There are other options that we can take. I'm unable right now to say which one we are going to take because we have to sit as a leadership. But we are expecting a good result, especially in the presidential race.
Let's just speak about the current environment. We've got laws like POSA, which technically are still laws that can be affected and can be affected even against the opposition. I understand these laws were never relaxed, but maybe the conduct of the police was the only one that was relaxed. And you are lawmakers by right, and there's not been anything that's legally binding as far as I last checked. Don't you think that these same laws can still be used against you and your so-called possible mass action or demonstrations?
There must never be allowed in this country to let obnoxious laws operate in our country. The first thing that we must do is to repeal POSA, to repeal IPA, and be more rights-based. We want a rights-based society. We should never oppress anybody. So these laws can be used, yes. In fact, the last time POSA was used against us when we wanted to demonstrate, the very last demonstration that we wanted to do, the police mobilized the POSA. It is an instrument of oppression. It is the successor of the infamous Law and Order Maintenance Act, which was used by the Smith regime. In fact, the wording of POSA is almost the same, identical to the Law and Order Maintenance Act. And that is anachronistic, it is unjust, it is unfair, it is unconscionable, it is bad law.
Secretary General, the NDC as well, I fully understand you've got your own polling agents across all the polling stations, the 11,000 that are there. Have you, as per se, received any results that fully confirms the so-called victory that we have been seeing in the social media?
Yes, we have. We have seen the trend of the presidential results, especially for Manicaland, Harare. We can say with certainty that our candidate had a clean sweep in those areas. Others were still coming. Matebeleland, for example. So yes, we are basing our claim on empirical evidence from our agents. Of course, we have not received all the results, and if the trend continues, then I think Mr. Chamisa will win. So we were basing on the information we got from our polling agents.
Do you have any areas where you think that you are not fully represented as far as the MDC is concerned? Do you have any place or areas where you do not have enough polling agents?
No, we had polling agents in almost all the areas.
So where do you think we're likely to get the discrepancy as far as ZEC collection of results and your polling agents? Where are we likely to have any discrepancy?
We are also doing tabulation as well, voter tabulation, and what we will see whether the figures tally are the same. They shouldn't differ, because they are being taken from the same information. They shouldn't differ, and we do not expect them to differ. But if they do differ, we will have to investigate where the discrepancy is from. It's uncommon that you have wrong results being announced. It has happened in this country before.
Speaking of that, let me just take you back. I understand that there were some areas that were heavily contested, and up until now there were some court actions that was taken, and these you have not yet seen the light of the day as far as the constitutional challenge has been made through the courts. Do you have confidence in that system?
Well, we always want to use the law. We always want to do things in a lawful manner. But we have judgments which this country, this government has not respected. For example, there is the judgment against Chief Charumbira and the traditional chiefs, stating that the traditional leaders must not take part in partisan politics. They still do. They still disobey the orders. We also know that ZEC did not make special arrangements for teachers who wanted to vote on election day, who were posted away from their polling station. very few people of these were able to vote. So those are some of the things that we are unhappy about. But the fact that some people don't follow the law is not a good reason why we should not try to mobilize the law. Maybe one day they will be more responsible. Maybe one day this government will understand the true meaning of the rule of law.
And as far as the environment is concerned right now, do you think that there is going to be any transfer, or is there going to be any transfer of power, or do you think you have got any faith or a system to be for a transitional period?
We are hoping that the men and women in uniform are going to abide by their constitutional duty. Their constitutional duty is to ensure that there is safety, there is security in this country. It is to make sure that there is smooth transfer of power. But if we go to history, MDC has won once, but it did not achieve transfer of power. 2008, the MDC won the election, but there was no transfer of power. We are hoping that there will be smooth transfer of power from one leader to the other. That is the only civilized thing to do, and that is the only constitutional thing to do. But again, we will appeal to the men and women in uniform to be responsible. We will be appealing to whoever loses the election to be responsible and accept a smooth transfer of power. After all, there is enough bread for everyone in this country.
We are not trying to make you announce the results or preempt, but as far as you've got, do you have any indications from your polling agents? I understand they also do have the official votes.
Yes, the calculations is at 11 o'clock this morning was putting Mr. Chamisa at 65%. That is our
which specific areas are these ones?
We dealt with Manicaland, Harare, Manicaland, Harare, Mashingo. The results were very good. Bulawayo, the results were very good for us. Matebele North, they were very good for us. So we are just hoping that the trend continues. If it continues, of course, we have traditional areas where MDC historically may not perform well.
Yeah, that was my next question. Like, how have you managed to pick any areas where you know that traditionally we have always lost? Do you have any such areas where you have registered any wins?
Well, we have Mashonaland Central, where we have traditionally not done well. The votes that we got, the figures are good. Mashonaland West as well, the figures are good as well. I think we got a couple of seats that we have won, including Chegutu, Kariba, and Chinoi. We have won those. So we are making inroads. Mashonaland East, we have reclaimed Marondera back. As you know, Marondera was in the hands of the MDC in 2008, and we lost it in 2013. We have gotten it back. So it's quite interesting. As well as some areas in Manicaland, we've gained quite a lot of seats in Manicaland. So far as the results showed that we were sitting at about 7 seats in Manicaland already, but this was before the full coming in of the results.
So do you have an actual number of total seats that you can officially say that you have managed to collect results where you have won?
Unfortunately, I do not have the figures. Kept on changing, and we have not verified this.
Okay.
But we will have a very, very handsome presence in Parliament. If everything goes well, if there is no cheating, there is no way we cannot win this presidential election. Because we have a better product on the political market. We have youth on our side, and we think that President Mnangagwa represents the old school, the old dispensation. Try as he may, he cannot escape the blame of Mugabe era. They were together. He was a key member of Mugabe's cabinet. He was vice president of Robert Mugabe, and some of the misdeeds that Mugabe is accused of, President Mnangagwa cannot escape blame, in all fairness.
Okay, so this is the Secretary General of the MDC Alliance, Mr. Honorable Douglas Monzora, just put through his thoughts, and he has managed to highlight that they are overwhelmingly winning some of the seats, and also has managed to also pick about 7 seats that traditionally were not going the MDC Alliance. Well, Mr. Monzora, thank you so much for taking your time to join us right here. We'll be happy to just call you through back as soon as the results have been officially announced.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the time. Okay. 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 1, 2. Okay. 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 Okay.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Just for your attention, please, thank you. Just an apology, we need to have about 3 to 5 minutes. Our commissioners are coming to give you the next round of the briefing, which is related to the results. Just next maximum 5 minutes, they'll be here for you. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you.
We are now witnessing the entrance of the ZEC officials. It looks like we are going to be going live in the next few seconds. Once more again, please, thank you so much for taking your time to be with us right here. We are at the ZEC where they are officially going to be announcing the harmonized elections as far as all the constituencies are concerned, and also the presidential election. So we are now seeing the first arrival of the top ZEC delegation coming through right here at the election command center. So let's see what these delegates have got for us. We are hopefully hoping that we are going to have many more results, not just another update. This is what Zimbabwe has been looking forward to get. So let's see what's up for us. We are crossing over straight to ZEC where we will be getting the official commentary and official results announcement. Thank you.
It is a good afternoon and welcome to this live update of the elections, especially the results that were promised a few hours ago by Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. Now I have to make this statement. All stakeholders are hereby reminded that it is unlawful to announce results since this is in contravention of section 66A B of the Electoral Act. The announcement of elections results by unofficial sources has the potential to mislead the public and raise unnecessary public emotions. The public is hereby advised to disregard results not officially announced by the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission. In this regard, the Commission will continue to remind stakeholders against the said malpractice. And to do the announcement, we hand over to the ZEC chairperson, that is Commissioner, that is the Justice Priscilla Chigumba. Priscilla.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I go into the program that we have, could I ask the commissioners on my right to kindly introduce themselves and to advise which province they superintend in the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission?
My name is Commissioner Daniel John Chigaru. I live in Bulawayo. I am in charge of part of Bulawayo as well as Matabeleland South.
Yes. My name is Commissioner Emmanuel Mugade. I superintend of Mashingo Province. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Netai Mshonga. I supervise National and Central Province.
I'm Kobani Moyo, Commissioner in charge of Midlands Province.
And as you already know, my name is Judge Priscilla Makanyara Chigumba and I supervise Harare Province. The Commission has now received considerable information on the progress made in ascertaining the results of the poll in respect to various wards and constituencies throughout the country. Given the legal position that the harmonized elections are declared at different levels, that is at ward, constituency and national level, depending on the type of election, the position of the various levels of counting and announcement of results is as follows. Remember, we have a harmonized election, and because we have a harmonized election and more than 10,000 polling stations transmitting election results for 3 different levels of elections, quite obviously this poses a considerable challenge. In terms of the local authority election, provinces are at various levels in determining the results of these elections. With regards to National Assembly, some National Assembly constituency results have been received and have already been announced at their respective constituency collation centers. For the presidential election, for all the local authority results and National Assembly results announced, the respective presidential ward results have also been compiled along the way. These presidential ward returns will be immediately transmitted to their respective district election officers, who will in turn submit them to the National Command Center. Presidential results will only be announced once the Commission has completed the collation of all presidential polling station returns in the 10,985 polling stations at the National Results Center. And as I previously stated this morning, the law provides that the presidential results must be announced within 5 days of an election, but if we're able to collate the results earlier, the nation will be advised sooner. I now have the singular honor of presenting to you some of the official results that have been received so far with regards to the National Assembly. In respect of Marondera West constituency, the results are as follows. Maslin Kunaka of the Zimbabwe Partnership for Prosperity Party received 597 votes. Maishoreva Amon of the MDC Alliance received 5,400 votes. Mari Adam of the People's Rainbow Coalition received 69 votes. Mavunga Richard Godfrey, an independent, received 559 votes. Utokwani Chivero Stanley, an independent, received 90 votes. Muchetwa MacDonald of the MDCT received 368 votes. Mukanya Izespiwe Elizabeth of ZANU-PF received 7,619 votes, and accordingly, Mukanya Izespiwe Elizabeth of ZANU-PF party is hereby declared duly elected member of the National Assembly for Marondera West constituency. In respect of Mudzi North constituency, Peter Chabeka of the MDC Alliance received 2,753 votes. Chiripanyanga Silva, UANC, received 185 votes. Go Motichauna of the Code Party received 134 votes. Kachepa Newton of ZANU-PF received 14,575 votes. Mpanduki Anyway, an independent, received 3,110 votes, and accordingly, Kachepa Newton of ZANU-PF party has been declared duly elected member of the National Assembly for Mudzi North constituency. I'm going to share the rest of the results with the Commissioners. Deputy Chairperson, would you like to pick one and announce it?
Here we go, Chair. Masvingo South constituency in Masvingo province. Name of candidate, Aruche with Action Independent. Votes received 815. Mabure Knowledge, DZA, 500 votes. Makota Justin, MDC Alliance, 2,353 votes. Maronga Claudius, ZANU-PF, 9,228 votes. Matongo Love Mo, MDC Alliance, 1,443 votes. Mavaire Tawanda, PRC, 2,545 votes. Senda Simon, UDA, 141 votes. Accordingly, Maronga Claudius of ZANU-PF party has been duly declared elected member of the National Assembly for Masvingo South constituency.
In respect of Gwanda Central constituency, the results are as follows. In
MDC Alliance 10,390. Gumbo Edson, ZANU PF 9,460. Lunga Jackson, ZIPP 162. Mkwananzi Butolezwe, Independent 287. Mkandla Tandego, Independent 370. Narempiyezwe, MDCT 1,140. Ndlovu Brian, PRC 75. Ngubo Chiyiwe, RPZ 100 votes. Ngwenya Nkululeko, NFP 26. Ngala Canisius, ZAPO 320. Nyati Malwande, MRP 215. Accordingly, Dube Patrick of MDC Alliance Party has been declared duly elected member of the National Assembly for Gwanda Central constituency.
I'm going to read in respect of Masvingo West constituency. The results are as follows. Chatamila Ruvai Ezra, ZANU PF, 9,212. Mazivile Roswitha, MDC Alliance, 4,694. Makusha Henry, PRC, 290. Masolvere Thomas, MDCT, 879. Maraza Tachiwona, Independent, 887. Matarisi Daniel, Independent, 331. Shiri Abraham, MRP, 77. Accordingly, Chatamila Ruvai Ezra of ZANU PF Party has been declared duly elected member of the National Assembly for Masvingo West constituency.
In respect of Wedza South constituency, the results are as follows. Archibald Royce, People's Rainbow Coalition 272. Gukwe Fanuel, MDC Alliance 2,101. Macha Karika Tinoda, ZANU PF 9,525. Accordingly, Macharika Tinoda of ZANU PF Party is hereby declared duly elected member of the National Assembly for Wedza South constituency.
In respect of Chiret East National Assembly constituency, the results are as follows. Makuni Shua of MDC Alliance, 3,889. Marcia Denford of ZANU PF, 11,052. Accordingly, Marcia Denford of ZANU PF Party is hereby declared duly elected member of National Assembly for Chirezi East constituency.
I'd like to thank the commissioners and to advise you that this is just 7 constituencies out of the 210 constituencies that we have, and that as and when the results trickle in, we will come in and announce them to you. And again, before I leave, I would like to appeal to you to bear with us for the simple reason that these are harmonized elections. We have 3 tiers of elections. We have 3 methods of transmission of these results, and that we're doing the best that we can, and we will try to the best of our ability to speed up the process. Should we take questions or not? We will not take questions at this stage, but we will have another round of announcement before the main news sometime after 7 o'clock. We'll take questions then. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Justice Chigumba and the commissioners. for that update. It's been an update here at the National Results Center here at the HICC. Stay tuned to ZBC News and stay tuned to ZBC TV to make sure that you catch up on the rest of the results, which will be brought to you. She did indicate that sometime before main news, so make sure that you continue tuning in into ZBC TV. Also on ZBC Radio, this is coming on live. Make sure that you tune into that, and for your friends and family who will be on radio, make sure that you tell them as well. My name is Admaya Mungu. We'll be back later with election updates.
Live from the official National Election Announcement Center, we are joined with AC Lumumba. He's been always a political analyst, an interesting one, so to say. And we have just had 7 constituencies being officially announced as far as this election is concerned. 290 to go. Your comments so far?
It's simple. ZANU-PF takes the election. I've said it. I called it. Everybody called me crazy. I told you and everyone was thinking Chamisa was one. The mathematics are not on Nelson Chamisa's side. It's that simple. It's got nothing to do with my feeling towards a person. And the city ndakavota. And the city ndakavota is alano. In mathematics. And the mathematics is simple. Chamisa is boxed in. There is absolutely no way. Mark my words. There is absolutely no way that Chamisa wins this election. The numbers are not with him. It's that simple. He's losing this election.
If you say the numbers are not with him, we have seen him bring cows. Is this not contradictory to what we have seen in the past campaign?
If you're going to use the basis of crowds, haven't you seen ED's rallies and those people? You tell me, who has bigger rallies, ED or Nelson Chamisa? ED has bigger rallies, surely. Or you could take any rally except the one in Harare, except any rally that Nelson Chamisa has had. ED has had 4 times the people at his rallies. So the mathematics, if that's what you're using as a basis, it's simple. ED takes the election, hands down. I live for the day someone can prove my analysis on anything I've said politically wrong. I live for that day. I'll bet this whole company, you can take over my whole page. My whole page, if I get it wrong. It's simple. MDC didn't quite make it this time. Everything they're doing now is just reactionary to the response of their loss. They're done. They're done.
If I may ask for your opinion, what do you foresee is going to be the outcome of this election?
ZANU-PF takes it by over 50%. I think if I had to make a call, right now ZANU-PF is sitting on a comfortable 54. By the time the results are done, we've been a comfortable 60, no doubt. Seats-wise, ZANU-PF is currently on 135 seats. They just haven't announced it. You wait until they announce it. Call it an opinion because I don't want to get into trouble, but my opinion is ZANU-PF is sitting on 135 seats right now. Out of 210.
Okay, what's your take on allegations that many people are already saying that this election has been rigged, specifically from the MDC alliance?
It doesn't matter. Let me tell you, anywhere in the world where protests have happened, it doesn't matter. People go home eventually. Donald Trump was in the United Kingdom just 3 weeks ago. 160,000 people came out to protest. They all went home the next day. People eventually go home. It doesn't matter what your allegations are, what your accusations are. When the noise is done, people go home. It takes money to keep people on the street. MDC doesn't have enough of it. It takes resources to keep, if you keep people out at night, where do they go to the toilet? What do they use for cover at night? Wall Street in America right now, you go outside of Wall Street, you will find these people called the Free America, Wall Street Must Fall. They've been campaigning on Wall Street for the last 7 years. Nothing changes. People move on. After the results are announced, people will move on.
Yeah, but in your opinion, whom do you really think has got the popular vote?
The popular vote?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who has what vote. It matters who's got the vote that's been counted. Because popular is relative, right? Remember, an election is not a scientific process. If it was scientific, they would say everybody must vote. But it's based on electoral colleges who registered to vote, who came out on election day. That's what you're judging. Popular, it's about who was popular on the day from the people who voted. This election, ED's got it. I like Chamisa. In fact, I would have even liked to see Chamisa do better. But there's nothing is going to save him. It's done.
Do you really think that Zimbabwe is better off with Chamisa or ED? Your opinion?
Doesn't matter. The point is ED wins. Doesn't matter who it's better with. It matters what the people chose.
Yeah.
The people chose ED. It doesn't matter. Look, I think Zimbabwe is better with Jesus Christ. But Jesus Christ is not running in the election, okay? I think Zimbabwe is better with Kunta Kinte, but Kunta Kinte is not here.
But if you had to choose between the two, whom do you think Zimbabwe is better off with?
Me. If Zimbabwe is to be better...
Let's talk about you. Are you running for office in any constituency? What happened?
I'm not a politician anymore. Look, I'm a businessman.
The last time I saw you face to face, you were holding a press conference and you said Robert Mugabe and then you pulled the finger. What was that all about?
The job to do, Robert Mugabe had to go, and I played my role in Robert Mugabe going. Robert Mugabe is gone. I'm a satisfied man. I've done enough politics for a lifetime. I want nothing else right now in my life. I'm very happy in business. I'm very successful in my line of work. I'm just the same as you. I watch politics and I give my opinion.
Do you think that ZANU-PF is better off after, because you're one of the critics of Mugabe. I'm trying to understand, how does one person become the same critic of Mugabe and yet he's somehow is favorable to Mnangagwa? How does that one go?
Because politics, political parties are not homogeneous entities. Right? Not everyone in MDC thinks the same. Not everyone in MDC agrees on every idea. They don't all drink the same drink, wear the same clothes, like the same women or the same men. We are not homogeneous entities when we're in a political party. It's a boys or girls club. We get in these institutions because we share similar mindsets, not that we are identical. So while I may have disagreed with Robert Mugabe, I still disagree with Emerson Mnangagwa. I still disagree with many things ZANU-PF does, but that's my club. No club ndinotambira yoyo. Saka nditambira club yoyo, nobody club yoyo, and then we tambira club yoyo.
Few weeks back, Mr. Lumumba, you've been a critic of even the ED administration, and then all of a sudden, you've just spined. What happened?
I haven't just been. I'm still just as much a critic. Just because I support you on one thing doesn't mean I support you on everything. Just because I criticize you on one thing doesn't mean I criticize you on everything. None of us are perfect. We're good at some things, we're bad at some things. I think ED has done some things right, which is why he's winning the election. I think he's done some things wrong. It's really that simple, my brother.
So
you gotta forgive me because I forgot, and I'm sure your views want to see somebody else.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for taking your time and having us right here. 135. I take this figure seriously because you've never been really wrong. So
we can have this conversation tomorrow. ZANU-PF takes it over.
Okay, why don't we just catch up tomorrow after more results manage to trickle through, and then we'll see how best this is going through. Thank you for the time. Okay, that is SC Lumumba, as usual, controversial, and he's already thrown to us a figure 135. He's already saying that ZANU-PF is putting on 130. That's a whopping figure. Believe you me, half the time he's thrown around these figures, it is proven to be true. I'm not just saying anything else, but well, we have known that all these figures that we're already counting through, they've already been counted by various polling stations, and what they're just basically going to be doing through here is just to collect and add through these figures. Whether or not they're going to add up the figures, it's another statement for another day. But as far as this election is concerned, well, we are seeing more results. Quite a surprise as far as what they've received so far. 7 constituents have been announced. MDC has only managed to scoop 2 and is losing 5, so it's trailing really hard behind. So 5 to ZANU-PF and 2 to MDC. Let's see how this whole election is going to come out through. In the meantime, between time, we're going to be going back and forth in the streets and also be talking to many people and analysts as far as having their opinion is concerned in this harmonized 2018 elections. This is www.techmec.tv. Hope you hit the like button, subscribe button, follow us through. We are going to be giving you more updates as far as Harare is concerned. Thank you so much for taking your time. Goodbye for now.
This land, our land, is our Zimbabwe, a land of peace for you and me, once born in pain and segregation, but now we live in harmony. Now flies the flag, our nation's glory. We live with pride inside our hearts as we all stand to build our nation. This our land, our Zimbabwe.
Though I may go to distant borders, my heart will yearn for this my home. For time and space may separate us, and yet she holds my heart alone. Now flies the flag, my nation's glory. I'll live with pride inside my heart. I'll make a stand to build this nation, this my land, my Zimbabwe.
Now flies the flag, our nation's glory. We live with pride inside our hearts as we all stand to build our nation. This our land, our Zimbabwe. We've been through it all. We've had our days, we've had our falls. Now the time has come for us to stand as one.
The night is gone, and with the morning come rays of hope that lead us on.
So we will strive to give our children